When you hear witch trials, you probably think of Salem, right? A small town in Massachusetts. A moment of mass hysteria. But what if I told you Salem was just a tiny spark in a massive, centuries-long wildfire? The real, horrifying story of the witch hunts began long before, across the ocean in Europe. Imagine this. Not just a village, but entire regions, gripped by a frenzy of witch. From the heart of Germany to the misty highlands of Scotland, a terrifying wave of persecution swept the continent for hundreds of years. We're not talking about a few dozen accused. We're talking about an estimated 40,000 to 50,000 people executed, and the overwhelming majority, around 80%, were women. So what caused this widespread panic? It was a toxic cocktail of fear, superstition, and raw political power. Europe was a place of immense change and uncertainty. The Reformation had split the church. Climate change was causing crop failures, and plagues were a constant threat. People were terrified, and they needed someone to blame. Who became the scapegoats? Often, it was the most vulnerable. Elderly, widows, healers who used traditional herbal remedies, or simply women who didn't fit into society's neat little boxers. Accusations could start from anything: a neighbor's cow getting sick, a sudden hailstorm, or a personal grudge. Once accused, you were trapped. Torture was routinely used to extract confessions, not just about your own supposed witchcraft, but to name others. This created a horrifying domino effect, where one accusation could lead to dozens more, tearing communities apart. In some German territories, like Würzburg and Bamberg, the trials reached a fever pitch. The pyres burned almost constantly, consuming hundreds of victims in just a few years, including wealthy citizens and even children. It's easy to dismiss this as ancient history, a product of a superstitious past. But the witch trials weren't really about magic or pacts with the devil. They were about control. They were a tool used by both church and state to enforce social norms, eliminate rivals, and channel public anxiety. They were about silencing independent women, seizing property, and consolidating power. The story of the European witch hunts is a chilling and powerful reminder of how easily fear can be weaponized. It shows us what can happen when superstition is allowed to override reason, and when a society decides to hunt monsters among its own people. It's a chapter of history we rarely talk about, but one we should never forget. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this dive into history interesting, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories. See you in the next one.